world always contains strange things that we cannot fully explain. We are truly small before the vast universe, and what is unseen may not necessarily not exist. Recently, scientists have discovered evidence of a multidimensional universe within the 9 human brains. This is a discovery that shocked the scientific community. With approximately 86 billion neurons, the human brain is the most complex structure in nature that we still do not fully understand. Using algebraic topology methods, an international research team obtained unprecedented results in neuroscience. They discovered that the human brain network has a multidimensional geometric structure, with dimensions when trying to identify the brain's structure. Scientists see neural connectivity geometry and responses to stimuli appearing as a multidimensional universe. According to the explanation, each neuron can connect with neighboring cells to form objects with complex linkages. Interestingly, the more cells participate in the group, the more dimensions the object has. Thanks to algebraic topology, experts modeled the internal structure of a virtual brain. Then, they tested on real brain tissue to verify the results. They discovered groups of neurons connecting into clusters. The number of cells in the cluster determines its number of Note, dimension here refers to mathematical dimension, not spatial or temporal dimensions. According to neuroscientist Henry Markram from EPFL Institute, we have found a world that no one had previously imagined. There are tens of millions of neuron clusters in a small part of the brain, with dimensions up to 7. In some networks we even found structures up to 11 dimensions. We often think the world only has 3 dimensions: length, width, and height. Therefore, describing an 11-dimensional structure is. However, this research could be the next important step in understanding the most complex structure we have ever. Again, this is not spatial dimension, but refers to the number of ways neuron clusters connect with. Each way is 1. The neural network was analyzed based on groups of neurons with full connectivity. Each group is called a clique, and there are connections between cliques in the brain. The number of neurons in the clique determines its size, meaning its number of dimensions. The human brain is estimated to have 86 billion neurons. Each neuron can specifically connect with surrounding neurons in all directions, forming a huge cellular network and enabling us to think and have consciousness. Due to the enormous number of connections, we still don't fully understand how the brain works. However, mathematical models can help create digital brains that simulate our own brains. To test accuracy, the research team used a detailed model of the cerebral cortex from the 2015 Blue Brain project. The mathematical model is the most advanced effort for the brain's developmental part, involving high-level functions like cognition. After developing and testing on computer simulations, the team confirmed the results matched real mouse brain tissue. According to them, mathematical tools and simulations allow close observation at the cellular level in the entire. They found significant diversity of groups and multidimensional cavities, something never seen in biological or artificial neural networks. According to mathematician Catherine Hess from EPFL, algebraic topology is like a combination of microscope and telescope. It can peer deeply into hidden microscopic structures, like individual leaves on a tree, as well as larger gaps in. According to Ran Levi from University of Aberdeen, co-author of the study, the cavities in the brain could be very important. When scientists ran numerical simulations, they saw neurons responding to cavities in an organized manner. It's as if the brain responds to signals by creating multidimensional structures that describe the signal, then destroy. The multidimensional blocks start from 1D bars, then 2D planes, 3D cubes, and more complex geometries like 4D, 5D. Brain activity is like continuously building multidimensional castles, materializing information, processing it, then destroying it, repeating over and over. These findings provide a fascinating picture of how the brain processes information. But it's still unclear what controls cluster and cavity formation. Furthermore, experts note that while actual three-dimensional shapes only have height, width, and depth, mathematics determines they can contain 5, 6, 7 or up to 11 dimensions. Beyond physical space, multidimensional space is often used to represent complex data structures or system conditions, like the state of dynamical systems in state space. This space combines all degrees of freedom of the system, and the state is represented by values assigned to those degrees of freedom. The research uses algebraic topology mathematical models to describe multidimensional geometric structures and spaces in human brain. From there, the research reveals how networks form and interweave into a unified entity, creating precise geometry. Scientists have discovered a world we had never imagined before. They found that tens of millions of objects in a small part of the brain have up to 7 dimensions. However, in some networks, they also found structures with up to 11 dimensions. More research is needed to determine the complexity level of the multidimensional geometric structures corresponding to the complexity of it. But this is certainly a new step forward in understanding the brain, the soul of humanity. What happens when you think? How do you store, remember, and use information at any time? Where do you store the data information you collect? These are the never-before-known secrets of the human. If you live to 70 years old, you can remember about 15 trillion distinct memories, from phone numbers to the shape of, and amazingly, your latent memory, also known as your subconscious, can contain even more events. To store these events, your brain uses over 10 billion neurons. And right now, you are using them. Dr. Avin Moon said, "The human brain contains 100 times more nerves than all the telephone systems in the world combined. The skin on our body has about 200,000 heat-sensing cells, 500,000 pressure-sensing cells, and 3 to 4 million pain-sensing cells. Electrical signals from these cells, along with signals from the eyes, ears, nose, and sensitive, all lead to the brain, where the chaotic mix of signals is sorted, stored. The human nervous system typically processes 100 million sensations per second. Our brain is truly a miraculous soup." One magazine claimed that a surface area equal to Earth is needed for a computer to have enough space to store, record, and calculate the data that a human brain remembers. Who created the computer? This miracle is precisely the information set. One thing is clear: when humans use the brain, they use it naturally with pre-programmed functions. Humans cannot design or develop it. The only logical conclusion is that our Creator made it. It may sound somewhat religious, but in reality, the human brain is complex beyond our understanding. Not only the brain, but other parts of the body also contain wonders of creation. For example, our heart weighs only about 297 grams but beats 100,000 times per day, or about 400 million times. Throughout a lifetime, it beats like that for 70 years or more, without stopping. It self-regulates, requires no external energy source, and never stops for maintenance or refueling. So who created this self-adjusting, self-operating automatic pump? With all efforts, humans can only imitate its perfect model. But we will never come close to matching that mechanism. An average person has about 5.4 liters of blood that the heart can. In this blood, there are 25 trillion red blood cells, and 10 million of them need. Or take the example of the human eye. It is designed like an extremely sensitive camera, automatically with a wide-angle lens, instantly printing color images. These are just a few outstanding features of. Returning to the human brain, according to estimates, the speed of nerve impulse transmission to and from the brain is about over 270 kilometers per hour, meaning it takes less than 2% of a second to transmit from the toe to the brain. When the brain is active, it emits an amount of energy equivalent. The brain only accounts for about 2% of body mass, but consumes up to 20% of the blood's oxygen, more than any other organ. This makes it extremely vulnerable when oxygen is lacking.